Welcome to a little bit of humor
and a lot of healing.
Hi. Sorry, our producer is dealing with inside.
I have a child.
But dude, we got some new cameras. We got some new equipment. We're built. We're what is it? Coming and I don't know. What was the Jeffersons?
Moving on up.
Moving on up. We're moving on up. Sorry, man. Sorry, brain fart. All right, producer. So let's talk about first of all, your week, man. How's your week? How's your week been?
Dude, it's been good. It's a rough week, to be honest. At the office, man. Like, everyone was emotional this week.
Really?
Everybody. I was like, did everyone sync up, guys and girls? Like, what's going on here?
It was a cry fest. Like, you had to buy more Kleenex.
Yes, I did.
You did.
I did, dude. Everyone was so It started out with one person who was having an episode. They were just not feeling good. Okay, no problem. I'll help her out. And then the next person, and then the next person. Dude, I had at least 10 people this week that were just like a crisis.
Wow. But what was it? It was the Dodgers lost? What was the what's the, are we missing something? Did something happen?
Dude, was it the hurricane maybe?
Maybe there was a hurricane. By the way, can you see are you using the computer, producer?
It's not, no.
You can't see it or what?
No. It's okay.
All right.
I got this.
All right.
That's all right.
I see you running around.
That's what a producer does. The producer has to run around. I got my co-producer over here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's the gang.
Say
I
hello,
don't
Gabby.
like this, bro. Wasn't this supposed to be a podcast about us talking about them and how did
I
they?
don't know. Listen, we always need the women's insight.
You think so?
We're in everything.
I believe
Oh yeah,
you.
this wouldn't be successful without women.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. There's always a face behind the camera. There's another face behind that one. So.
Yeah.
Without us,
you
have
No, we got you. We got you guys. We got you.
When did we just lost the podcast?
We lost it.
Bring it back, boys. Bring it back. So tell us about this hurricane and how it affected your people. We became zombies.
Dude, there was something in the water. I don't know, man, but everyone was emotional. Issues in relationships, issues with like health, issues with family, like just everything just happened this week. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it can wear
anything that stood out that you said, wow, I can't believe I just had to deal with that, or I can't believe this person is going through this. It doesn't, I mean,
sure, yeah,
have to be huge, but just something go, ooh, that was crazy.
Someone is going through health concerns and they got like 4 things in a row, like the last 2 or 3 weeks, just bad news after bad news after.
Okay, so it's like you have diabetes.
No,
last year.
No, I
worse than that.
Worse than that, man. And they're a young person too, which sucks. But
now, was it self-afflicted?
I think it's like genetic. I think they got it from their parents.
Okay, because you understand, like if your kidneys are failing and your liver's failing, but you've been drinking for the last 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what happens, buddy.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, don't cry now. I get it. It happens. So, do you understand? That's why I'm asking these questions. If it's something that he could have avoided or he brought up upon himself.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But that's crazy. That's great. Did you have to put your stuff away from the hurricane?
Oh,
because that's really the thing that I have to fix now. Everything that I did to avoid the hurricane, now I have to undo. That was the worst part, dude.
What a letdown, man.
I know. I made the mess. The hurricane made no mess. I had to clean the mess I made. Does that make sense? Okay, take out all the furniture, go back, put on the trampoline again.
Dude.
Yeah, but I did have something that was very interesting, a conversation with, I was telling my wife about it. There's a 42-year-old or something like that, maybe in her 40s or 30s, and she's an HR director. And it was crazy because as we were having this conversation, she said, you know, I don't want this. Like, I said, what do you mean? She's like, I'm single, I'm independent, I have my own stuff. I have my own house. I have my own car. I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have anything. And my mom always pushed me to, mija, you don't need a man. Nosotros somos chingonas. Y si me caigo es porque yo quiero y me levanto y la chingada. And I don't need a man and this and that. And so because everybody around me was wow, wow, sha, ha, ha, we're wow. And so she was part of that tribe of F that, we don't need men, we can do this ourselves. And now she's at an age where she's like, no, I want a man. Like, I don't want to work. Yeah. Stop promoting that shit. Like, please do not promote that anymore. I want somebody to take care of me. Like, I don't want to worry about shit like that. And I don't know why women keep promoting, I don't need a man, I don't want this, I can do it myself. Yeah, you could, but I don't want it. I want a man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
She
And I
was
was
influenced, of course. Everybody gets influenced by somebody else, but you have to have the power to change your own mind.
I get it.
You
But
don't know what you want.
that's the whole point is you don't know you're even being influenced. Especially as a young girl, she's like, yeah, I traveled the world, I did all of this, but at the end of the day, I don't want that. Like, I want a husband. I want to be a wife. I want to be taken care of. I want to be protected. I was like, all right. But if I say it, I feel like women are going to go, oh, you're weak, or they're going to see you as less. So I can't say it out loud. That's really messed up. I was like, that's true. She feels that way. I mean, and she's telling me this. And I'm like, oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's really common. I mean, one thing too that I don't know if you've heard, but one of the firms like on Wall Street, they're trying to make money. So they got to figure out what is the trend. Do you want to know what the trend for women is by 2030? They're guessing if things keep going the way they're going, this is going to happen. They're saying if everything goes as it is now, by 2030, 50% of women over 30 and over are going to be single and childless. 50% of women.
I can see that.
By 2030. And so they're saying, hey, if you want to invest, considering women are going to be a large market, single women, invest in cat food and in wine.
Wow.
Well, that's because all of that goes good.
Yeah,
right. Cats, wine. Yeah, that all goes good.
But, you know, pulling it back, though, to what you're saying, I actually work with a lot of women in that age range, in their mid-30s, early 40s, and they're go-getters. They're freaking killing it. They're making a lot of money, and they're literally going, I'm not happy.
Yes, that's what she said. She said,
that's
I'm not happy.
Of course. I mean, we all want to have that independence. We all want to have our own money. But I want to see, at the end of the day, I want to have the comfort of me saying, shoot, I don't want to work today, and I don't want to work tomorrow because I'm over it. I want to do something else.
But
Can I just have my husband help me too?
But that also comes with
responsibility.
Yes, like, listen, like, okay, I am going to be the man, and if I'm going to get the ass whooping, you're going to do what I tell you to do. Do you understand? If I'm the one that's going to take the blows to the chest, then guess what? Like, I'll protect you, but we got to do it my way. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense that you go to the neighbor, spit in his face, slap him, and go ahead, babe, get him. No, hold on. Like, relax. Like, we didn't negotiate this. You said, you said you would protect me. Yeah, but you never told me you were going to go pick a fight. Does that make sense? So everything has a compromise. And if you want me to take care of you, I also want you to understand we have to do it this way then.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And Richard, are you saying the trigger word of submission? Is that what you're saying?
What are you
maybe.
doing, man? Maybe. Are we?
Well, that's all I gotta do.
Gabby,
are you willing
to submit?
To submit?
Are you willing participant to submit?
I mean, what's the prize?
I mean, I know, and even let's just say this
Sure.
doesn't work out, and Richard dies for some reason. There's life insurance, right?
Of course.
All right, just making sure.
Now, I
want
to now play a little devil's advocate. You think that women are stepping up because men aren't?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand?
Oh yeah.
Meaning, men have some blame to this too. Meaning, you're not a man. Yeah, if she could trust that you would step up, if she can trust you that you will pay those bills and will take it to the chest and will defend me, if she can trust you'll be there. She can't. So now you understand why she said, well, then let me go do it myself.
Of course.
So guys, you want her to believe in you, then come through, bro. Like, you understand? You have to get a job. You have to get her out of mom's house. You got to get her out of mom's house, bro. You got to be a man. You can't tell her, I'm the boss, and then your dad says, hey, quiet down. All right. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people get hung up on that word, right? Submit. And
Tell me what you think on that.
Oh, no, I like it, but I like not context. I like clearly defining what are we even talking about, because a lot of people when they think of submit, they think of like master slave, right?
Yes.
This person says, and the other person just follows like no brain or something, right?
That's not the case.
That's not the case.
Oh,
So
you learn
just
so much every day.
before she says yes. No, I'm joking. So submission is this: you're basically saying, I trust you to lead us together better than myself. And so because you're such a good leader, I'm trusting in you making the decisions. That's what submission means. I trust your leadership to the point that I trust that you're the one that's going to be leading it now because you earned it. And at any point, she could stop submitting to you. So it's a choice to be able to submit to you. So you need a good man. Like you said, guys, we need to step up.
Yeah.
If a girl's not submitting, that might be a reflection on your leadership or how you're handling things.
Yeah. That's true, too. You can't blame her for stepping up and saying, hey, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. Now, this is something Rocio says. I tell her, you have an amazing husband. And she says, I picked him. Like, she still gives herself credit.
I gotta give myself credit because
I picked him.
it's true. It's true. And for the women out there, they need to know that you're the one responsible for picking your significant other for life, which is also, it could be a father figure for your child. You are the one person picking that person for the rest of your child's life, for the rest of your life, whatever that means. So that's why I take credit, because it is also our responsibility to look at what we have in front of us and say, maybe not this one. Maybe let's change course.
Yeah.
That's just a point. I don't know.
That is true. But she says, I picked them. So girls, you're picking the wrong guys, and guys, you're not getting picked because you're not stepping up. I guarantee you, if girls said, listen, guys, no, I will submit to hardworking, dependable, responsible men. Yep. We'll submit to them. I guarantee you, men will start getting jobs tomorrow. They'll say, "Oh man, is that how we get them?" Then that's what I'll do.
And that goes for men too. That goes for men too. You're picking the mother of your children, your future wife for life. That's just the point. You have to make sure that you're picking the right person.
Yeah, but let's admit that the peer pressure is out there for women to be the breadwinner, to go out there and be the go-getter, and you don't need a man, and this and this and that. Yeah. And you're like, it's not necessarily every woman.
It's the same peer pressure about women having kids, right? I mean, women having children and saying there's a choice that you have. You don't have to decide what the society wants, but if you want to have kids, then you have the choice to make them. Now, if you don't want to have kids and you're a woman, it's kind of hard from society to hear that from you, but it's okay. What do you guys think about women not wanting kids now?
Yeah, because you said childish. Childish.
Because like you said, we're going on to that 2030.
2030.
Yeah. There's actually questions on that of people wondering like, women what does that look like? Women with no kids, women actually wanting no kids, deciding for themselves that they don't want kids.
You know, one of the things that personally worries me about this trend is, I think it's a societal thing that they talk badly about marriage, long-term commitment, parenthood, children. I talk to a lot of kids, that are teenagers. The idea of marriage, the idea of at some point, even in the future, not even when they're old, they don't want to be married. They don't want to have kids. They just want to have a job, and they worry about the environment. That's what I always hear every time. Like.
Do you think it's because we can get laid just easier now? Like back then, you got married because you're like, shit, I need to get laid. Like this, if I want to see a boobie, I gotta get a wife. Sure, you know what I mean?
That's true.
No. I'm
saying
that's true.
And now there's an app that says I just have to swipe right, and then we're gonna sleep together.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand?
You've already made that connection.
We're here. So why get married? Why get a partner?
Yeah.
I can run faster by my own. Yeah. I'm not carrying any weight.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think things are set up so that people are more just naturally selfish? Because you can just get whatever you want pretty easily, like you said.
Of course. Why not? We're used to that.
And then there's
and we're upset when it doesn't happen.
And then women that are working that can pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, but there's also like, let's normalize not wanting to get married or have kids because of our parents. Example, bad marriage. That was me when I was younger. I was always like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. And that was because my parents had the worst marriage.
That's true.
Right.
See, it could be.
Right. What's the example you're being shown? Look, one day you can get an abusive drunk husband that's gonna beat you. What's up? Looking forward to that, Mom.
And again, you can make the choice of not choosing something like that. Of not, you can also get married and not choose that person because you've had that example. You can also look the other way and say, you know what, I want to get married, but not like my mom or not like my dad.
Can I ask you a question? And this is something, and I think we brought it up before, in terms of, or we discussed it before. Talk to my partner, Joe Stevens. When I mean partner is like business partner, not partner.
No,
We don't judge here.
I'm right here.
I'm making sure everybody understands what kind of partner we're talking
Please
about.
clarify that because I'm right here.
There you go.
It's a business partner. There you go. So we were having a discussion. We brought up Oli in private schools and how important it is for us to make sure she's among people that we also approve of. And he said, I was to the impression of, why should I take her to private schools? And just take her to public schools. I want her to get some grit in her. I want her to be a little street smart. And she's like, nah, maybe now. Sure. But as she gets older, when she gets to high school, maybe junior high, last years of junior high, you want to start putting her into private schools. And I said, why? He said, look, they're kids. She's a kid. They're going to make mistakes. But the people she makes mistakes with in a private school, their parents cared enough for those kids to put them in private school. So some way, somebody is present to step up and be responsible for what just happened. You go to a public school, it's some guy you don't know, parent doesn't even know if the kid's still around, she's pregnant, got some disease, something, nobody's taking care of it. On a private school, somebody had to put him there that cares enough to now back up whatever messes that kid makes. Right. So you put your kid in a situation where at least somebody will be responsible. If she and the other boy make mistakes, they will step up. In a public school, they're ghetto. They're not going to.
Even if it's just financial.
Yeah. Even if it's financial, but you understand, at least your daughter will have a fighting chance out there going like, well, okay, I'm a little independent. I have a kid, but it's a little easier. His parents are taking care of the kid too. I'm not carrying the burden on my own. In a public school, you don't know what you're getting. You can get Pancho Wancho from Michoacan, and he never comes back. You know, it's Pancho Wancho. That's who you slept with, mija. Yep, Pancho Wancho. You don't even know his name. No, his name is Pancho Wancho. Everybody called him that. Okay. Well, mijo, one day when you grow up, we'll let you know your dad was Pancho Wancho from Michoacan. I mean, that's really what you get. And I'm sorry. He says, try to put her in private schools. Just to set up those scenarios. So back to the picking a husband. What if that's the pool of husbands you're picking from?
That's true.
That you're limited to this. Oh, shit, this is what we got.
And those kids have, I don't know, but statistics-wise, they have a better chance of going to college, universities, so maybe a better career.
Because it doesn't make them better kids.
No.
I'm just saying the people behind them will be responsible.
Exactly.
Not them.
Right.
Both kids are idiots on both sides, private and public. But what I'm saying, there's the resources behind that kid that will be responsible. Right. In the public schools, nobody cares. They're like, forget it.
No, but I think that's a pretty smart way of filtering that out, right? Like,
giving yourself at least a fighting chance. Like, why am I paying for private schools? Because I want her around people. They're not all losers. Yeah. Like maybe 80% are good, 20 are horrible in private. But then in public, it's 20 good, 80 bad. And I'm just playing the numbers here. You know, I'm a gambling man. I'm like, what percentage looks better? And if you start doing the math, you're like, okay, well, she's going to stay here longer. And I have to take care of him too. I have to feed now three mouths, not one. How much money is that? Nope, going to private. Going to private because I calculated the numbers. I'm still spending all that money. Right? I'm going to have to raise the grandkid. How long is 18 years of the grandkid? No. I'd rather just pay for private. It makes sense, guys. Just do the math. If you have kids, I know you're going like shit.
I know, right?
Especially daughters.
Okay, we have somebody that's saying, Monveles, I believe. She says, I respectfully disagree, and if you can start touring the private schools now, you'll see what I mean. Oh, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that. If there's something that you saw,
No,
you
no,
can
no.
tell us.
Let
or-
me tell you, they're all garbage. Private and public. They're both garbage. What I'm saying is the people that are spending money behind that kid, they're somewhat present. Somebody is paying for that bill. That kid is not just abandoned. But if you go to a public school, there's kids that haven't even seen their parents in a year. And those are around my daughter, that these kids don't care. They're like, I'm going to treat you just like my parents treated me. And that's who they end up marrying, except parents that are not present, parents that are abusive. That's what I'm saying. And I know what she's saying. No, they're
Right,
got
and
kids
that happens in
private.
both public and private.
Yeah,
There's
but-
abusive parents in both, but at least like what you're saying in private, at least we have a resource, financial resource, or there's somebody that
Yeah.
cares enough to be around that kid, where
Somebody's paying that
somebody's
bill.
gonna help. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody's helping that kid out.
Of course.
Privilege. What you gonna say?
that's true. Privilege is a thing.
Yeah, but the pool of men that you have to pick, I think at the end of the day, what's that solution? How does a woman find a good man?
Yeah.
Because that's a big question. what
I'm actually helping out quite a few women right now that are between 25 and 35. They're like, I'm ready to settle down. I'm done dating. How do I find a man? And the first thing I sit them down is, how do you know you find it if you don't even know what you're looking for? Right?
Bars. Bars.
So that's the first question, right? It's like,
Comedy clubs.
because you're saying, I want to.
Yeah, there you go. September 2nd,
There
I'll
you
be
go,
at
right?
Bellflower.
Exactly.
September 1st, I'll be at the Well in Bakersfield. So Bakersfield, I'll be there September 1st. Okay, sorry. Trigger word.
No, but I mean, it's just common sense, right? Like a lot of people say, I want a good man. Then my first question is, what do you mean by a good man? What does that mean to you? And once you get them, because look, once you know what to look for, you will start filtering men out really quickly. I want a guy who's financially stable. I want a guy who has a great relationship with his family. I want a guy who wants to get married and have kids. Immediately, you're going to start filtering out. This guy just wants to date. This guy just wants a one-night stand. This guy has a terrible relationship with his family. Like, you're going to start having an easier time filtering out guys generally. And so that's the first thing I would tell a girl if like you're like, I have no luck dating. Be intentional about dating and write down, what are you looking for? What are green flags and what are red flags?
What are some of those red flags that girls? I'm pretty sure everybody's different, but just generic red flags. Like, if I'm looking for a hardworking man, what would be a red flag for a woman to go? I don't know if that's a hardworking man.
No problem. I'll give you a couple that I just, because people come in to the office because they're having issues in relationships. I'll tell you what the main ones are. A bad communicator. If the guy, whenever you guys are disagreeing or you get angry with each other, his move is to completely block you, not talk to you, ignore you, or even be super aggressive towards you, that's a red flag. Because we've both been married long enough to know you get into spats with your partner, with your wife. It happens. It's just part of marriage. It just happens.
What if he's just an emotional guy?
That's another one. Probably.
No, I mean, like,
Sure.
like the reason he's like that is because he's just verbal that way.
Sure.
That's how he expresses
That's a red
himself.
flag, bro.
That is a bit of a red. If I had to be honest, that's a little bit of a red flag. So communicator, is he a good communicator? Does he actually listen? Another one that's a big one that people don't think about is just financial. Is he just a responsible person? That should be a big one. If he's off wasting money all the time, I can't tell you how many relationships money's one of the biggest issues that they come in for.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished doing a couple session 2 hours ago. That's the thing that they were fighting over, money.
He or she keeps spending more.
They're fighting over spending, and it is I think on the wife's side.
On the wife's side.
So and here's the thing as well. As you get to know someone, you like them, great. You don't have to figure that part out. Put that to the side. How does he treat people? What is he like when he's angry? That's an important one.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? You're going to make him angry at some point in the future. You might want to know how he acts in the first place. Mm-hmm. So those are a couple red flags. And one of them that I will say be wary of, and I'm trying to be nice about it, is addiction. if they have a passive addiction, you need to know what you're signing up for, because that's a real possibility. You're going to have to deal with that. Like, not even being mean, just literally understand what you may be signing up for.
Yeah.
Because I help people out in marriages where there's addiction, and it's tough.
Yeah. No, and I agree. Listen, it's funny because my mom tells me stories about my uncle. He says, your aunt wasn't like that. He made her that way.
Right.
He made her an addict. And now the family turned on her and said, if it wasn't for that woman, my son would be fine. Because she's the one that pushes this on him. No, dude, at the end of the day, you're not, can I just tell you girls, you're not going to fix an addict.
No.
He's only going to make you an addict. And then the family's going to blame you for making their son an addict because they don't know the whole story. It's the truth.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna fix an addict. An addict needs to fix himself. Now, if you're an addict and he's an addict, knock yourselves out. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you found each other. Good. You can share needles. You know what you guys have. You know what I mean? Good for you. No, love is love. I don't care what it is. Love is love. If you're both addicts and you both love each other, good. They have the best relationships. Some of you guys that are not addicts can't even look at each other. But yet these two addicts love each other. They would do anything for each other.
Right.
I'm talking about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so don't judge them. I'm just saying, just know what you're getting yourself into. And heroin is not your thing, then don't go into a guy with heroin. You know what I mean? Don't look for those guys.
Of course. And, you know, if I could actually comment on what you said, you're not going to change him. Can I tell you probably one of the biggest issues women have in general?
You can change him.
I can change them.
I know.
And let me
Go,
give you context. What the heck
please.
I mean, you know? So, have you ever heard of a book called A Million Wicked Thoughts? Have you ever heard that book at all?
Write it down.
Fun.
Write it
Yeah,
down. Write it
it's a
down,
good
producer.
book. So,
Write it down, producer.
So it's basically, look, I'm stealing for Jordan Peterson, but it's really good stuff. So let me get to the point of it. A Million Wicked Thoughts is Google engineers writing down what people search on Google, the bad stuff. What do they search for? That's why it's called A Million Wicked Thoughts. And part of it is porn, and specifically, what do men search and what do women search?
Oh.
Because there's a difference.
Wow.
And it's really interesting, right? And so
we should read some.
so here's a couple things that they found, right? What they found was men, really straightforward, attractive women, interesting sexual things to do. That's it. There's no magic to it. We just love seeing women that are hot and them doing certain things sexually. Straightforward.
I had that right here. That's it. I don't know. I had to Google that, but okay.
Right, but it's straightforward. We're very visual, right? But women, that's where it actually gets more interesting. Women, whenever they started finding the searches, they were watching porn, but all their porn had to deal with like a storyline. There was a love story. There was something to it. It wasn't just the act. There was buildup to it, right?
He talked to her.
Yeah, no, there was literally a whole storyline to it, right?
I think I'm a dude.
Do you
Wow,
think it's
Rocio.
because they're watching a man listen to a woman talk?
Oh yeah, that's it. He's not even naked. He's just nodding and agreeing. Yeah, just no,
Washing dishes.
But here's the interesting thing, right? So here's the conclusion that the Google engineers found. Men love watching porn. Women love reading porn. They love the imagination being stimulated, a whole storyline. And so they actually found 5 different categories of guys in storylines that women love.
Ooh.
And so I'm sure one of them you will particularly like.
A comedian.
But no, comedian. No. So here's the categories, 5. I memorized them. The first one is vampire. That's an extremely popular one, right? So
Team Edward?
yeah, exactly. There we go, right?
Edward, look at that.
So
they want to be imprinted.
they want. You're reading my mind. That's number 2. Beast,
Ooh.
monster,
Bees.
Oh, really?
werewolf. Yeah, beast, monster, werewolf. Anything that's like a monster type thing. That's the second one.
Oh, so they like, oh, wow.
Bestiality?
Did the Twilight hit it? Like, man.
Dude, it hit everything perfectly.
That's
No
why it was so
wonder it
big.
was such a
Yeah.
fun. Oh, my God.
And it's funny because, I mean, think about it too, just more innocently. Beauty and the Beast.
That's true.
It's a love story, right?
That's my favorite one.
Bestiality? No, joking. No, joking.
Yeah, I thought he was great as a beast. I loved it. And then when he was a man, I was like,
Boring.
Okay,
So a vampire,
vampire,
beast. The third one is pirate. That's apparently
Johnny
popular.
Depp.
Man, Hollywood nailed this.
Right.
Thing. Okay.
So, Pirate. Number 4 is some type of doctor, mostly a surgeon, but like a high-powered doctor of some kind. That's another one that's apparently very popular. And then here's a fifth one, and you said it. You actually guessed it already. Rich man, a businessman. That's number 5.
Oh, Mr. Gray.
Mr. Gray, right? 50 Shades of Grey.
That's right.
So these are all the 5 that are the most popular type of men that women tend to like. Go to Barnes and Noble and you'll find all 5 of them in the romance section.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. I've never heard of a romance novel for a man. It's almost always for women.
And that sucks. What's up with the plumbers and the roofers? What's up with the taquero, the paletero? You know, he has a heart too. There should be a love story about a paletero, but no, Hollywood wants to hold us back. Maybe el dueño de la Michoacana.
Maybe if they
he's
dress
rich.
up like a beast or something.
Yeah, right?
Put a little glitter on themselves.
Oh, but if I suck your blood, yeah.
Right.
That's it.
You just got to do it right.
But so the 5, and what do they all have in common? All that they have in common is they're a very strong, masculine, dangerous man, and the woman is always this beautiful woman, usually internally, their personality, there's something special about them, and they tame the beast. They domesticate him. The stallion, they break him in. That's the whole thing. And what does that sound like? I changed him. Yeah. Women intrinsically love the idea of changing a man. Like, he's still dangerous towards other people, but he protects me. And so that's women's biggest issue. Even in their porn and everything, it's always in there somewhere. A woman ultimately sees the potential in a man and wants to change him if she sees anything. And as long as there's potential there, they're willing to stay. And I can't tell you how many times women get themselves in trouble in therapy because of that.
Yeah. But, I mean, now, with that being said, their argument is, well, before me, he was garbage. Thanks to all the changes I made, look at him now. Do you understand? Like, how do you stand on that argument when there's another argument going like, no. That motherfucker was broken, and I fixed him. I cleaned him up, put me tired.
But can you agree that with a person you're with usually should make you better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So there's like a little...
Okay, so
Yeah.
So here's the argument.
Sure.
Hey, just like you fixed him, I'm gonna fix this abusive drunk over here too.
That's a little
Exactly.
extreme.
No,
that's
because
what I'm saying,
in
like-
their mind, it's the same.
Right. But they don't realize that that's extreme and that's not possible.
So we have to discuss that. There are
That's
differences.
the thing, though. That's the problem, though. Like, look, what I was getting at when I was saying women want to change men. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Women, if you find a good man, she will multiply him and make him an incredible person. That's what happened to me. Like, I was pretty much a bum for the most part, but my wife really helped me out a lot. She gave me guidance, and she gave me, she centered me. I had all the willpower, but nowhere to like to walk towards, right? So women do want to change, and it's a good thing, but you need to be very selective as a woman as to who you're trying to change. Because a lot of girls get themselves in trouble and try to change a guy that has no interest in changing. And so that's where you have to be very selective. I'm not saying you're going to get it every time, even if you are being careful, but at least be careful in who you're investing in. Because I can't tell you how many women I talk to that have been in a relationship for 10 years and then they break up and they might even have a kid. And now they wasted 10 years. So women have to be selective.
Yeah, and they're trying to change it, but we already said you can't change addiction. You can change certain things. Now, were you going to say something?
No, I'm just listening to you.
You had a very interesting question that we reviewed earlier and we discussed, and you said about the way women and men communicate love or affection.
Affection.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
a good
there's
one.
there's somebody that feels terrible because her husband's love language is affection and touch. Not an affectionate person due to the past abuse, but how can I help my situation?
So what kind of abuse was it? Physical abuse?
Most likely, yeah,
okay.
most likely.
So this is why I bring this up when it comes to change.
Sure.
Okay, because we're talking about you can't change them, because we also have to understand certain people came from backgrounds that are really fucked up, and it's not their fault.
Of course.
Right? But that doesn't mean they don't get to be happy, and that doesn't mean that they don't get to get married.
Yeah.
Right.
But this person was hurt also, And now she's in a relationship with her husband where the way he communicates is by touch, right? What did you say?
Affection is by touch, right?
By touch. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. But she's not ready for that.
She's having a difficult time.
Do you go, oh, then forget it, I'm not going to marry her? She's broken. And
well, I think the bigger question now is now that they're already married.
What do you do?
Now what do you do, right? So as a husband, what do you suggest?
What do you
because
think?
He knows as well that she's also, I'm sure he knows about her past. So I mean, there has to be a communication there between both of them, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in that case, I'm going to have to, I guess, make a little bit of an assumption that it was something probably like a physical abuse of some kind, like sexual, which makes her uncomfortable with intimacy.
Most likely.
Whether sexual or, just hugging
physical,
or something,
maybe
physical
something
touch.
Physical.
They're going to have to communicate extremely well and just let her know what makes you uncomfortable. To what point can I touch you until you don't feel comfortable anymore? Just as a baseline. So he doesn't cross over and start to make her feel uncomfortable. Because right now, what he has to do at this point is he has to earn trust with her. And how does he do it? He has to start working with her. I don't like it if you grab me in the butt or in the thigh. Like, we can hold hands. You can put your hand on my back, and as a starting point, just to start to build that trust with her. If I have to be honest, this is a therapy-related issue because that's a trauma. There's very little he can do directly other than make her feel comfortable and earn trust with her slowly. But if she wants to speed it up, I highly recommend therapy very specific towards trauma. I actually am going through something similar to this question with a young person. She's 31, and she comes from a lot of trauma, a lot of cheating, and she was abused when she was younger. And so she has a lot of trouble when it comes to sex. And so one of the things we did was I told her, can you write down a list of like a hierarchy, meaning what are the touches you're okay with at the bottom here, and work your way up to the most uncomfortable touches you don't like. That way we can identify, and you could also tell your husband where you're kind of not comfortable at. Number 2, I started doing the thing I told you about EMDR. Mm-hmm. I started doing that with her.
That's a new drug, by the way.
It's a very great drug. Please try it.
Zero side effects.
So EMDR, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a very special kind of therapy that's dealt for trauma. The reason I like it so much is because it's very quick. You don't need 6 months. Literally in 4 sessions, you start seeing a big difference. For this young lady that we work with, 1 session was enough to just start getting her into comfortable with touch already. Really quick. And I actually only did EMDR for about 20 minutes with her. And the memory that we worked on was the abuse one. And she was at a 10 out of 10. I mean, when she started talking about it, she would cry. Her chest would get tight. You know, when you cry, like it gets tight up here, you're like, it hurts to talk. She had all those just talking about it. We did the EMDR for about 20 minutes, and literally I told her, where you at? Because you were at 10 out of 10. Where are you at right now? She said, 1 out of 10. Really? Can you talk to me about it? Yeah. And she tells me everything that happened. She said, I feel unstuck. And so I saw her this week, a week after we did that, and I told her, where you at? She's like, 0 out of 10. It doesn't bother me at all. I feel really comfortable with my husband touching me now more. And so that was really cool. So I'm not saying it's a cure-all, but what I'm saying is there are options out there in therapy that you can use, and EMDR is one of them, or trauma-informed therapy. That's another one.
And I'll tell you this, not doing anything is not cool, dude. Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. I mean, because the husband is expecting, this is how I communicate love and affection. But for you to say, listen, I was abused, so no. And that's it? Like, I have to be empathetic. I have to be, like, patient. When you're not even doing anything to fix this, not cool. Yeah. Do you understand? I'm coming to you, and I come to you and tell you this is what I need. And your excuse is, well, you have to be empathetic. I was abused. Yes, I get it. Let's work through this. Let's fix this. You don't get to just say, no, I'm not going to touch you, and I have a great excuse, and you need to feel sorry for me, and you don't get to ask me again to fix this. That's not selfish for your husband to ask you to fix it. That is him trying to make this work.
Right. Yeah.
Makes sense? Because there's people out there that will use trauma and say, well, you don't know where I come from. I do. That's why I'm asking you, let's fix it.
Right.
Do you understand? Let's work on it. Let's let's get rid of this thing you're going through.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, what a great point you brought up. I mean, you said it perfectly. Some people do use the trauma like, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing this, whatever it is. I was traumatized. Okay, no problem. I could be empathetic. But to what point? Just forever?
yes.
No, we have to work on this.
Yes. Like if you show me you're going to therapy, I'll be patient.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
if you show me that you're trying your best, I'd be like, man, what a trooper. Wow. Good. Thank you. I will then start doing things. What else can I do to make her happy? Because if she's going through this and she's trying to fix it, I'll be patient. But that motivates me. If you just telling me, no, I've been through this, you should be more sympathetic. You shouldn't ask for this. You know exactly what I went through.
Right.
The hell? Like we're not gonna fix this?
Right.
Well, you don't
Like
know
the
what I've been
attitude
through.
you got right there. I like how you make us look with an attitude.
I tell you, just those girls. Just those
Yeah,
girls.
just those.
Jesus.
Jesus.
So speaking about questions, I did have a question for you last week. I asked you about wanting to get Botox and maybe some
Boobies.
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 I've gone through some weight loss and I feel like I need something more. So Richard said, go ahead. What did you say?
I said, listen, I'm a big believer is your body. Do whatever you want with it. Nomás que no te quiero chillando después. Me duele. Ándale. Usted
Sí
quería
me va a doler.
BBL.
Sí me va a doler.
Usted quería un BBL.
No quiero BBL. Quiero chichis.
Chichis. Okay. So, chichis.
Chichis.
Which, by the way, I want to be on record before one chichi's pointing that way, the other one's pointing there. They're fine. I don't need more. This is fine. She's the one that said, I want this. So when they're cockeyed looking at all sorts of ways, because you got a discount and a coupon, whatever. But this is the thing. My question is, can I steal at the same time, just like you're asking me right now, because you respect me so much and you go, you know what, your opinion matters. And because your opinion matters and I respect you, I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think I should get my boobs done? Okay. And I'm telling you, you can do whatever you want. It's your body. Yes. But my question to you is, can I tell you when to stop too? Because you're going to stop asking me. Because you're asking me right now because it's a big decision in your life and you've never had surgery before and you're scared. And you want some reassurance from me telling you, yes, go ahead. You want me to be there? Yes. But once you get comfortable with plastic surgery, you're going to go bananas. You're going to want to...
Yeah, I figure it's like a tattoo, right?
Exactly.
It's
like a tattoo. Just a little tuck here.
Same
just a
reason
little
I don't
plug
have
here.
tattoos.
And then all of a sudden, can I tell you to stop?
I think as my husband, I think you have, I mean, because you want to be attracted to your spouse, right? So I think as my husband, I think it's okay to tell me, okay, that's enough.
Now,
That's
are
too
you
much
going
on
to
your
say
face.
yes?
I think I would have to respect it at a certain point. I think maybe setting a deadline in the beginning, saying, hey, okay, you can do just this and this. After that, we gotta talk about it.
Yeah, we have to pay the mortgage.
And we gotta pay the mortgage. But and we're not going to Tijuana for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we have to talk about it, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have a right to ask because you want to be attracted. Because what if I do have a one pointing to the left and one pointing to the right, and what if?
And it's,
Right.
No, I'm serious. And then it's like...
or my
this-
lips look like really funny, like they look like duck lips, and then I can't even move my lips, and then I think that's fair.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
fair.
So I can go.
It's
yeah.
karma.
Wait, what's it?
I said it's karma if your boobs come all weird.
I know that is God punishing you. Going like, Andale, I gave you good boobs and you won't mess them up. There you go. You think he can do better boobs than me? Huh? You think that doctor can do better boobs than me?
I mean, I've seen some really nice ones.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay, so
All right.
putting it out there.
Okay. All right.
But we're confirming that you did not ask her initially.
No,
Okay.
this was not
All right,
something
so if
that
it does happen, guys, and I look like Jenny 69 or something,
We'll get you a job
Wow.
at
Just
Culichi Town.
on the record.
Like that.
I'll get you a job at Culichi Town.
Yeah.
Buchona for life.
Buchona for life.
Part time.
She's the Buchona vibes.
¿Ves? Buchona vibes.
Okay. All right. What do you think of that?
No,
plastic surgery.
No, you guys have I like it a lot. I think it's a really balanced view of like, you guys are talking about it, negotiating, and there's like a clear line. Like, I'm okay, whatever decision you want to do, but I'm uncomfortable at this point. I'm not telling you have to follow what I say, but that's where my line is. Because really, she could go off and go crazy, sure, but that's going to come with an issue, right?
Yes, of course.
Exactly. So you guys are being clear because a lot of people get in trouble, especially, again, in couples therapy, people start saying stuff, and then the other person just cocks their head like, we never said that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get everything as clear as possible. If you walk out of that conversation on whatever you guys talked about and you cannot verbatim say exactly what their position is, you guys weren't clear enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, record it. Just like we did right now. Just
Whatever.
record it.
True.
It's recorded.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
recorded.
It's
It's on record, Richard.
Oh, no.
Toxica.
Trust me.
You see how I did that?
Toxica.
I'm just saying.
See, that's why she's doing the podcast. She needs
That's
a
right,
bunch of
that's
material
right.
on you.
I gotta make sure. A real quick shout out from Jenny Cardenas Mendez. She says, "I think you're so funny.
Oh, thank you,
Do you
Jenny.
ever come to Riverside?"
Riverside. I'll be in Ontario, October 4th, where we're gonna do something like this, a dynamic like this. So you guys are invited. That's coming up. We're gonna put up the promo. But yeah, Jessica, if you want to come down, October 4th at the Ontario Improv. That's not far from you. That's about 30 minutes. You really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to go to the show. Very good. Any more questions?
Let's hold on a minute. Let's talk about accountability and arguments. Let's say when you start an argument, how should you approach an argument? You say, "Hey, do you come into it real hot and heavy? How is that going to drive your argument? Or do you come in with an apology and say, "Listen, I'm sorry for what happened earlier"? How does that change your argument, or if you want to have an argument?
I would ask the question from you would be, I'm having an argument. How do I say I'm sorry without losing? Does that make sense?
Mr. Competitive.
No.
How?
No, because this really what we're saying is, how do I come in? Because that's what everybody wants to do, is everybody wants to win.
Of course.
So how do I come in without losing? I don't want that person to lose either. Like after I've spent a few hours away and really reflecting on what just happened, I realized, well, she's messed up and I'm messed up, but I can't come in and say I'm sorry because she has some fault too.
Yeah, but
sure.
apologizing
Do you understand?
isn't losing.
No.
Apologizing
but-
isn't losing.
Well, I mean, it's how do you apologize so you don't feel like you lost? Because that's really what we want as human beings. How do we apologize and feel like we didn't lose? Because it's an argument. Both sides have very solid facts, very, very solid arguments.
Yeah.
They both have really solid arguments. They that's their point of view. That's how they feel, and that's how you feel, and that's your point of view. So do you understand? Nobody's wrong here, and nobody's right. We're just disagreeing on something. How do I come back to this point where we both can have a talk and get over this without me feeling like I lost and without you feeling like you're lost? I don't want you to lose either, but I want you to know that this is just an argument. We're going to go through this. But how do do we get over this? I get it. Yes, you're right. But you also get it. Yeah, you're right too. It's an argument. It's a disagreement. But we got to get over this. Tomorrow we got to go to church. I mean, we got to talk to each other.
True, I got it.
So that's what I'm saying. How do I say I'm sorry without feeling like a loser?
Okay. Here's one thing I have to say. There's no sexy answer to this. I just have to be honest.
Yes.
There's no.
Yeah.
I wish there was. If anyone wins in the argument, or if anyone is winning, then the marriage loses.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Bars.
I mean, but it's true
Drop
though.
the mic though when you say that.
Look, just think logically. There can't be two winners. If someone wins, logically the other person loses. That's just how it works. It's just logic. So that's why I tell people, if someone wins in an argument or in a situation, then the marriage loses, because now the other person feels invalidated, unheard, defeated. And what is the goal? The goal is for you guys to connect back again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so here's what I tell people, because again, I work with a lot of couples. Marriage therapy is easy. The hardest part of marriage therapy is convincing people to humble themselves. That is the hardest above everything else. How do you tell someone, hey, understand that your wife is hurting? Well, she insulted me earlier today. I know, but someone has to say, I'm sorry, to start it out. It's hard. Mm-hmm. But what I would say is this. If you want to better the marriage, when you come back from an argument, own up to your crap, because ultimately you can't own up to theirs. They're in charge of their side. So, because I do it in my marriage all the time. If I mess up, I'll genuinely come to Gabby very quickly if I can and just tell her, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry that I spoke to you that way or I said it in that way. That's my fault. I don't care if I agree with you or not. I speak for myself and I was a douche to you. Like, Like that simple. And guess what? It disarms a person because suddenly they're just like, oh, crap. And they're more likely to be open to talk to you about their side. I can't tell you how many times I see couples where one of them just bends the knee a little bit and the other one immediately is like, you know what? I'm sorry too. I messed up. Because people are prideful. No one wants to be the first one to bend the knee. You feel dumb or you feel, like you said, you lost.
But you're still, no, but it's not losing. It's just saying, I could see this is a mistake I made. I did this. You're admitting to it. You're not losing. You're admitting to this.
Exactly.
That's still not losing. You're just admitting to this. I made a mistake here. I did this. I did that. You're owning up to your mistake. That's it. You're not losing, though.
Of course.
You're just, this is the solution. You
So
gave
Richard
them the
wants us
solution.
to know it's important not to lose.
No. Because that's how people judge the fight or the argument. Did I win the argument? Did I lose the argument? You said it very well. If somebody wins the argument, the marriage loses. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, so how if I don't want any of us to lose, if I tell that person this was my mistake, I did this, and you own up to your fault on the argument, that you're saying is that other person most likely will also own up to what they've made. Nobody's lost here. We just come to a conclusion that, yes, we both made mistakes. Let's move forward. Exactly. Nobody lost here.
No.
We just own up to our mistakes.
Gabby has something. Gabby's coming in.
She picked up
the devil's advocate over here.
There you go.
No, I was just going to say, well, you're right, Richard, because the marriage wins.
Yes.
Because you both agreed.
That you're both not perfect.
Right.
That you both made mistakes. It's okay. And it's okay. At the end of the day, all right.
How did you just win this whole conversation, Richard?
There you go.
This is what he does to me, you guys. This is what he does.
No.
Puts it on record.
Okay, so I want to know, do you and Gabby ever get into
So
fights?
that was one of the questions from our audience, actually from one of my comadre.
Comadre. Her comadre.
I have a question for Irvin and Gabby. Do they ever argue? Because he's a therapist. He has to know, like...
Can he gaslight
her?
Does he trick her?
Does he use his
his magic?
Does he use his psychology on her, like to figure her out, and they never argue? How does that work? How do you guys work?
Oh yeah, it's been 6 years. We've never fought ever.
Oh yeah, they're perfect.
We're perfect. That's how it
Y
works.
cagan bombones y todo.
Yeah.
Now, look, just because you know the name of a punch coming at you doesn't mean it doesn't hurt when it hits you.
Yeah, boxers still get knocked out.
You still get knocked out, right?
That's great.
That's true. That's a good analogy. Boxers still get hit. Just because you're a professional fighter doesn't mean you don't get hit.
So no, we definitely do, and I appreciate that we do because I learned so much. I really mean it when I tell people when I work with them. I'm not giving you advice I wouldn't take. If I tell you something, it's because it's tried and true with me. I've used it. I've read on it because of my study, but I've actually used it in my marriage. Like it's practical. It's tested out in the field. But do we argue? Of course. We argue on regular stuff. There's times where I'm having a bad day and I'm irritable and I say something stupid to her and I offend her. And now she has issues with me and now I have to like go, oh, crap, I messed up. Okay. I learned real quick, be quick to forgive and be quick to say I'm sorry. That's the fastest way to connect back with your partner and not be in this stupid game. Like, you know how you said earlier, you know, like how do you apologize without losing, right? For me, I just tell people you in order to win or lose, you got to play the game in general. Don't play the game. Just apologize. Just worry about connecting. Don't worry about how you look in the situation. And so, do we argue? Yeah, absolutely. I will say this, and obviously, you can say whatever your side of it, but our arguments have lessened, so they're a lot more rare. And if they do happen, they get resolved significantly quicker than when we first got married. You know, something that say would have taken us 3 hours because, you know, back and forth, we can probably squash in under 30 minutes.
How do you like? Hold on. Let me write this down. This is really good. I'm gonna use this. Like, do you like? Wait, hold on. I know you're angry, but hold on. I mean, and this is how we're gonna solve. Do you do like work it out there? Is there notepad? You guys get formulas at school? Like, all right, carry the one. She won't be mad.
Right.
All right.
So do you know how last podcast or one of the last podcasts we asked you, like, how do you view comedy? And you're like, I analyze it. I can't, you know, I'm kind of like that a little bit too. I'm analyzing what's going on. Why is
she crazy?
No.
What I get the end.
No, like, why is it going this way?
Yes.
What did I say? You know, I'm very aware of how the conversation.
Do you ever go, no, she's crazy? Like, do you ever analyze the situation and go, no, she's bananas right now? Like, that makes no fucking sense. Nope. I'm not going to give her this one. Nope. This is not a sane thing to do. This is not okay. Does that ever happen?
Early on, before I became a therapist.
Okay.
I was more likely to be like, dude, that doesn't make sense. Like, I just wasn't understanding.
Okay.
Now that I have like hours, because I officially have 3,300 hours of direct face-to-face experience. I have a lot of time with people, like sitting down for an hour. And one of the things I learned very quickly that I try to tell all the people that are in relationships that I work with is I've never met a crazy person. And I work with people that have schizophrenia, people that are bipolar, people that have all sorts of mental health disorders that people would assume they're crazy. I've never met one, and I've worked with a lot of them. Why do I say that? Because all their reactions are really reasonable if you think about it. I had a person who freaked out on me in the office, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? They were seeing something come out of the wall behind me. That's a reasonable response, right? If you see some crazy stuff, something come out of the wall, you're going to freak the hell out too, right? So that taught me really quick, oh my God, even people who see crazy things are pretty reasonable. Like, I would do that.
Yeah.
And with these sorts of conversations, I learned really quick, no matter how crazy the reaction seems, it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I always get interested, why is it coming from there? So that's what I look at Gabby that way. If she's giving me a reaction, she's not crazy. So why is she reacting that way? So to be fair, I'm a therapist, so that's my training kicking in.
Okay.
You know, so
I try to write a joke out of it.
You're like, I try to joke.
How do I make this into a joke?
Yeah.
No, I do want the audience to know this podcast is just getting started. I'm really excited. I really like it. But I want you to know I'm not perfect. I'm an asshole. I'm a piece of shit. So if you people think that, nope, I'm the humor part of this shit. He's the healer. Do you understand? I just want to make that clear because I don't want you to put me in some fucking square where you go, Richard, but you talk about marriage, but you talk about, I don't give a fuck. Do you understand? I'm not going to be in your square. I'll be me. And I'm not going to, I know you, because people will make an assumption of who you are and what you should be for them. I'm not going to be that for you guys. Do you understand? This is for entertainment purposes. That's it. That's it. I don't want you to blame me for your marriage. I don't want you to say, but you said no. I didn't say shit. I said a lot of shit. This is just entertainment purposes. That's it. Oh, somebody's calling in? Yes, the phone. Answer it. Somebody's calling in the hotline, or is it just a message? No. Okay. I thought they were already upset and already calling. But do you understand? It's early on in the podcast. I don't want people to think, oh, you should do this and you should say that because you do this podcast. You shouldn't be doing this, or you should be doing. Dude, forget it.
Right.
I'm not gonna be your angel, and I'm not gonna be in that square. That's it. So I want to date it now. So I can play this video over and over again when people talking shit on fucking social media and go, right. Richard, you said this. Yeah, bitch, here's a video. That's what I said. What's up? Hello, Moto. Oh, someone. There's a call. Caller. Hello?
Okay, human healing. What is your question?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Who's this?
Hey, I just wanted to ask a question to Richard.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Go ahead. What's your question?
Johan.
Okay.
It's Johan. I just wanted to let you know that I am upset about what you said. I'm just kidding.
About what?
You're upset about what he said? What did he say?
Yeah, and then he said, just kidding, I think.
Oh.
No, it's a joke.
Yeah, he said, just kidding after.
No, I just saw you real. I just wanted to ask you a real question.
Yeah.
Are you actually loud when you have sex?
Am I actually loud when I have sex? No, it's a joke, bro. It's a joke.
Damn.
No, bro.
I'm going to hang up right now, bro.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry I broke your heart. No, I'm not loud, bro. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Okay, have a good night, bro.
All right, thank you for your call.
See, this is what I mean.
That was the first caller.
That was our first caller. Wanted to know if I was loud if I have sex. Okay, so very good. But I just do want to establish, that's the kind of thing is I make a joke like that. and people will go, Richard, how could you say that when you said this? It's a joke. It's a joke. I get to say whatever I want. I'm the humor part. If he's out there like beating up women and stuff, that's his. You should talk to him. That's he shouldn't do that. He's a therapist.
There you go. And with that, we can wrap it up, guys.
Yes, we can wrap it up. Any final thoughts? No pressure now. We're all waiting.
I know. I'm just like,
I think that was a final thought, Richard. I think we had a great feedback from both of you guys. So you guys make sure you pick somebody that really means something to you, and you have a future person going on. That's going to be part of your father figure for your children and future husband or wife. And I think that's a good closing.
That's it. Well, thank you very much, man. This is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we love doing this.
And
so
follow our podcast, Humor and Healing.
Yeah. Yes. Follow. Oh, yeah. Podcast. We're on all social media, guys. And I'm thinking once we get to 1,000, the 1,000th follower will get 4 tickets and dinner on me for October 4th at the Ontario. Ontario Improv. I'm not drunk. I just have hiccups. I just no, I'm not drunk. I would tell you. So thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.